Yo, yo, yo. How are we doing, dudes? Mustafi. Danny, what's up, buddy? Dude, they jinxed us so hard today, man. I didn't fall for it, though. Who was it that was crying League SBCs today? Told you not to get your hopes up. Don't do the World Cup icon pack. Nick just mentioned it on stream. So bad. Wait, they came out with a World Cup icon pack? Did I miss that? Dude, everything's so boring right now, man. It's affecting the streams because I feel like there's literally nothing to do. Booth. When did this come out? Akim, what's up, buddy? Bro, I have never, as an American, I have never heard of this man in my life. But are we still going to complete him? Absolutely. If we remember, that is. Dude, let me pull it up. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So, people thought we were getting League SBCs today because they saw this. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but there were a lot of Libertadores cards and Sudamericana cards that had crazy initial prices, where it was like a start price of like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, and then had like a buy now of like 12,000. So supposedly they've been fixing them. BPM Nerd said, don't know how long these have been updated for, but finally sudden lived or fixed. And then Matt got super excited. He's like, it's happening, boys. Ready yourselves. And then the whole League SBC / menu grinding community on Twitter just started going crazy. Expect it to not come until you see it, boys. From the Netherlands, I've never seen him either. I'm interested to see how he got Player of the Month, though, because I feel like he would have been on someone's radar getting Player of the Month. Would you not? What team does he play for? Utrecht? Is that how you say it? Utrecht? FC Utrecht? Bubbies, how's it going, buddy? Expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed. No, if you expect disappointment and you're still playing the game, you'll get crap for still playing the game while being disappointed. So it's a lose-lose. Good, and you? I mean, if I'm being honest, we need this next promo now. We need the World Cup game mode to be over. These quote-unquote future stars looking cards in this Phenom promo is going to be nice. But dude, I'm ready for the World Cup promo to be over. I just want to watch some World Cup football, IRL, then get back to League, and then hopefully have League SBCs and stuff out so we can do a proper grind. Play Rivals, I want to see Rage. You want to see pure Rage? Look at this. I've been trying to go for tokens. So we have, I think, 5 done right now. I need, or we got 6 done, I guess. Do you have 6 done? Got 2 there and 3 there. We must have another. Oh, you know what? Golden Goal is going to make it really easy to get these. I should probably try to grind these out by the next promo. Or at least by the end of the weekend. I'll keep that there for now. Skill issue? Nah, look at this, bro. Look who my goalkeeper is for Japan. You ready for this? Hold on, where is it? I need 2 more wins. Hold on, let's put like a big boy at center back. Or not center back. Let's put a big boy in goal. Dude must be like 5'2". Alright, so I'm assuming it's 6'1", 6'2". Yoshida, yes! Yoshida's going to be our new goalie, boys. But yeah, today's stream, dudes, we're going to keep looking to see new information that comes out with the Phenoms. If you want, I can go through the whole list right now of what we know. Let's actually do that as we're loading up a game. We're going to be grinding for swaps. We're going to do some trading. Mainly just chilling and getting our club ready for tomorrow. Probably not going to be an insanely long stream tonight, so if you guys want to get to bed a little early. So that's Bellingham, Militao, and who's the Portuguese? At striker. Surely that's not Rafael Leao at striker, is it? Alright, so here are the cards. We got Kubo. We got James. Tielemans. Granuzzi. I haven't seen people use that card in a minute. Where are the other ones? Martinez, Saka. The other Martinez. Hakimi, that one's going to be sick. I can't wait to get Hakimi in the team. If we can get him first owner, that'd be even better. We got Frimpong, that'll be coming as an SBC. We got the David coming as a objective. So that'll be nice for those Canadian or... honestly, you know what? We could probably get Jonathan David. Play him up top with our American. He's black? Who's black? Alright, we got 42 more games. Dude, I wonder how many coins you can get. What is rough average? I think is a little more than 100 per game. Only 6K. You played all the games. Hey, if you're low on coins, there you go. Who, Yoshida? I don't know if you know this, buddy, but people from different races can get married and have kids. It's interesting concept. And then you also, get this, can be a race in a country as maybe not the predominant race. Get this, you might also play football and get a FIFA card. Isn't that crazy? Okay, you can't tell me this game's not scripted. How did I score that? Yeah, it's more crazy in Japan, definitely, with their population, but it's not unheard of. Hey, glad the trade tips are helping, buddy. Yeah, right now there's really... Bro, did Neymar have no teeth? What was that? I could have sworn he didn't have teeth there. Nah, no shot. Yeah, we'll go back and forth between trade-in. I'll make some upgrade packs too. We have the... Here, let me show you where we're at. So we got the first icon done. If you want to see our reaction, it was the video we uploaded today on the channel. But if you had to take a guess on whether or not we got a good or bad icon, what would you guys think? Do you think I would pack a good icon, or do you think I'd pack a bad icon? Out of our 87 plus. Teeth issue? Dude, the Bald Nunez is the best card in the game still, in terms of looks. Every time I see a Bald Nunez or a Bald Rafael Leao, they're just absolute ballers. All right, you ready? Look at this. Expect disappointment and you'll never be disappointed. Exactly. That's my mindset going into every pack, especially for Team of the Year. When we go into Team of the Year, I'm literally going to be like, all right, I'm expecting to pack nothing. I have 201 goals with your Nunez. Hey, GG, man. Think you just stopped me from doing the pack? No, do it. You're going to love it. Trust, it's going to be the best thing you get this year. It's going to be Ronaldo behind the pack. Cap, would I lie to you? Would I lie to you? Nah. If it makes you feel better, I don't think you can get worse than what I got. In terms of price, it's basically the bottom of the barrel, along with a couple other ones. And by couple, I mean like 50 icons. It's like 50 icons or less. There's like 10 that are break even. And some are better. Now you must last year I opened 700 good packs and the best was Chiesa. Can we talk about the best thing about League SBCs for a moment? The thing I miss most about not having League SBCs out right now compared to last year was no matter how bad the pack was, you could just keep opening and eventually you'd hit something. There was a beauty in that. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I prefer those SBCs where it's like you can grind them unlimited and you'll eventually pack something versus the Prem pack where you'd get the 50K and it'd just be disappointment every single time. Have you been preparing for the new promo? Yes, we've been getting liquid coins. I'm going to be investing in more shadows as well. I want to have some more coins liquid as well so we could potentially buy some players. We are getting prepared for it. We're going to club stock silvers again now that we can pick them up for 150 again. Everything was 300 plus earlier today. So if you invested 150 into silver center backs, you're making bank. Yeah, hopefully get some fodder too, but most of my fodder is going to come from the 84 times 20. This time we had 100 packs saved. I want to know what I did last year for a grind. I know we grinded League SBCs like crazy, but I can't remember what we did for Team of the Year. So I need 10 swaps. And then I think it's 3 for... Where is he? It's 3 for Cannon. So I need 13 total. I want to do the 10 first. You can get this whenever. Yeah, it's going to be sick. Seriously, though, the way I think about it is you can buy George Best at constant time, sell when I'm done and barely lose any coins, as opposed to 300k fodder icon. Yes. So this is kind of my philosophy on it. If you are not a content creator where you're recording your reaction or opening something as a way to make a video or do something on live stream, and you have coins and you trade and you invest, you really don't need to do any of the SBCs. You can if you want, but theoretically, you're going to be able to afford like 99% of the cards in the game if you just trade and invest, where you don't need the odds of, could I pack a Ronaldinho first owner? You could just buy one in a couple months. But if you want to take the risk, if you have fodder, go for it. And how's it going? We did way more upgrades this week than I thought we were gonna do. I kind of spent a lot on them too. We did a lot of trading to buy them, but I also spent a decent chunk of coins. All right, we need one more win, boys, with Japan, and then we're done. With Japan. Cryptic. You're trying to build your YouTube? Build your YouTube as in trying to create content for YouTube, or? What's that shitty cam setting? I don't know it. I feel like for friendlies, it's always changing. It's so weird. It's never consistently the same one. I have it on tele broadcast, or it should be. Like I'm trying to grow. Live streaming will do wonders for your growth on YouTube, buddy. Live streaming is something that people will not only click on, but they can get value from in some way. So, like 90% of the time we're on YouTube, I try to think of what essentially the content will be, and I'll try to base it off of things I have tips and tricks I can give for. So like when repeatable SBCs come out, we have our how to grind the repeatable SBC videos where we teach people what resources they can use that are available at the moment. If they do the upgrades, what they can put them into, potentially how much it could cost if they want to try to do it for profit. And then off of that, we'll do it live on stream and then have the video to show people for. If you're more of a gameplay person, I don't know how you get people to your channel for gameplay. I don't know how you kind of separate yourself from the pack unless you're an extremely good player or you're using really interesting teams. Had leg day today, 250 on the leg press. Dude, I miss commercial gyms. My apartment's gym's not really cutting it right now. I'm cutting personally right now, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. But lack of different equipment definitely gets you. Dude, Vieri is the most cracked card for these. I don't know why he's the most cracked. It makes no sense. But he's like 99 pace, 99 shooting. I tend to only really do special cards I like. I'll never be on the market again like Ribery. That will never be on the market again like Ribery. Yeah. My thing is I'm either all or nothing. I either do all of the cards and I'll never use most of them, or I won't do anything and I'll miss it. Like the Bergwijn. Probably would have been a really good card to do. However, I missed it. But if I did them, probably wouldn't make the team. Because you are in Div 10. Burn. Mumbo, you don't know how good my week has been. Enlighten us, buddy. Look at that. 3 done, baby. Too easy. Best in the game. Didn't even need a goalkeeper. How's my week been? Let's see. Work's been good. A lot of the same spreadsheets are most of the day, so a little repetitive, but we are on, like, if there's a hill, we're getting towards the top of the hill and we should be coming down soon, so a lot of that workload will be finishing up hopefully before the holidays. Social life, going really good. Oh, I got a messenger back. I think I have another date either this Sunday or the next Sunday. Family's doing good. Workouts are going good. Getting ready for the next World Cup, baby. I'll be ready for 2026 for the United States call-up. Let me get a drip check. I'm wearing the USA kit. That's the only drip you need to see. Is that your attempt to get me to twirl? Good try. Good try, buddy. That's OnlyFans content, all right? It's coming to Morocco. What's crazy is what could potentially happen if Argentina beats Netherlands and then Portugal beats Morocco. That'd be an insanely interesting Final Four teams then if France beats England. Because what would that be? It'd be Brazil versus Argentina on one side for the semifinal. And then it'd be Portugal versus France. Any of those scenarios would be like a monumental moment for the World Cup. And even if it goes the other way, if England wins, it could be coming home. If Morocco keeps moving on, we could have our first African country. Are they the first African country to get this far, or am I tripping? Just got booted off Discord by my parents. That's sounds like a skill issue right there, buddy. Don't know how to help you with that one. Senegal 2002. They're the third. Okay. What were they saying was history then? Was it specifically for Morocco then? Hey, if Ronaldo's starting, they have a good chance of winning, so up the Moroccans. All right, who are we doing? We're doing Belgium now, right? Yeah. Oh, an Arab country. Could be. Boyata. All right, do we have a left back? Should we play El Kaku in the team? I'll check in Merns. I miss that dude. Have you done the get 7 assists, 1 cross using players from Canada and stuff? Is that for... What's that for? I did something with squad battles where I could get, in 1 or 2 games, a bunch of them done. That might have been it. I knew I used the United States players. I used Mexico players for tokens. I did a bunch of those. I bet Beak misses me while I'm not in your Discord. Jesse, I'm not going to name names. Someone said something the other day along the lines of they miss you in Discord. And they kind of love the fact that the World Cup's on right now. Because if it was actual league time for like the Prem and stuff, they would be getting crap for being a Liverpool fan if you weren't talking in there. What's he doing? Why is he pausing? Oh, is the game going to be over in like 2 seconds? Is he going to score here? Brexit challenge coming in. Oh, no. Raphael's too good. Squad battles or rivals. I don't like playing either. I like playing golden goal. Golden goal is the only tolerable thing I feel like to do right now. Dude, Rafi's gonna be killing me. Have you heard Doja, the song by Central C? Maybe. Could you, like, sing some of the lyrics for me in chat? I'll let you know if I've heard of it. Dua Lipa is actually cute. What is that, what's that new show on Netflix that people are hyping up some goth chick in? You guys know what I'm talking about? I think her name's like Wednesday or something. Doesn't that show have like a cult following or something? Like everyone loves it, and if you don't like it, you're the odd one out. Dua Lipa is a female-looking Darwin Núñez. I don't think that sentence has ever been said before, buddy. Congratulations. You just made history. I'm being the first person to string those words together. Well, we'll do a side-by-side after this game if you want. Why do you take a step back? No way. You're actually live streaming playing the game. It's a miracle, man. Lack of content for me, it makes me do crazy things sometimes. Dude, if I made that pass, it would have been 100% a turnover. Look at that play. Opening him up for the shot. All right, so what are we looking at? Dua Lipa and Darwin Núñez. Dua Lipa is supposedly the female Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez. All right. So here we got Dua Lipa. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it, man. I'm seeing one of them who's good at football, and then I see Darwin Núñez. Without makeup, she looks exactly like him. Okay, Dua Lipa without makeup. I'm still not seeing it, man. Okay, maybe a little of this one. But it's just the bun. Maybe she has to wear like a Liverpool kit or something. I think SBC really got us today. Got you today. I refuse to get excited until it's on the screen. That's great and all that they fixed the price ranges. Props to EA. Might be something happening behind the scenes where it's getting fixed, but until I see the League SBCs on the screen, I have zero trust in EA. Mubby, you look like Reed Falbo. That's a weird name. She's a Liverpool fan too. Interesting. Oh, look at that break. Look at that break. Hit it with it. Yay! Gaesa. A girl in my friend class has started to talk and snap me and ask if I wanted to hang out on Saturday. I said, no, I will watch the World Cup. Me and the boys. And she asked Friday. Then I said I hit the gym. That's the most cap thing I've heard in the world. You did not talk to a female. She doesn't like football. She's from a family of Arsenal fans. Interesting. Millie Bobby Brown is a Liverpool fan too. You SBCs today or what? Content is more dead than United in front of goal. One second. One second. Where's Liverpool? Oh, they're down there. Jeez. Almost didn't see them at the bottom of the page. It's weird. Hey, if it makes you feel better, though, you'll have Trent in top form since he's getting 0 playing time at this World Cup. Or did he get in and I missed it? Jesse, who is Millie? She asked in her interview if she likes Liverpool fans for the final because LFC fans adopted one kiss. One kiss is all it takes. That's a banger right there. Wait, is she like a Liverpool fan like LeBron James is a Liverpool fan where he knows nothing about the sport or the club? You know Salah and that's it. Dude, Salah has been clutching it so far this year for me, fantasy point wise. I need Haaland though. Can't compete. Can't win the league without Haaland. Bro, what was that bounce? That almost went in. I'd say you're getting copyright strike for that mumbling. I wouldn't be surprised. It was pretty spot on. One kiss is all it takes. Fall in love with me. Oh, look at Barry go! Look at him go! Madman! Had to take him out because I couldn't stop him. He's too good. Brexit Holland? Yeah. Samuel Jackson and Michael Myers? Michael Myers is the Liverpool fan. True. I guess you'll never walk alone. Michael Myers always stalking you. Checks out. I got a wedding on Saturday at the same time as the England game is. So can you guys please send it to PKs or something? Play. Austin Barnes actor. What his name is? I play for Liverpool. I will get Millie or Madison beer. When you play for Liverpool? When do you plan on getting signed by Liverpool, mate? In career mode, maybe. I can see that happen. When I'm 23. Nah, bro. If Liverpool signing you at age 23, you're going to be a dinosaur by then. There are Real Madrid signing 16-year-olds. Pretty soon they're going to be getting like middle schoolers to be on full contracts. Then before you know it, mothers are going to be going into doctor's appointments for ultrasounds when they're pregnant. There's going to be football clubs ready to sign before the 9 months. Endrick is going to flop. Why do you think Endrick will flop? Mike Leonard manifested it. You can't give a 16-year-old that much money. Why not? Can I actually see first rights on footballers' children in the future? It's just going to get to his head. So let me ask you a question. A 16-year-old footballer versus an 18-year-old footballer or 17-year-old footballer. What would be the difference for money getting to their head? Could you say maybe it's more the person than their age? Most of the time, they're probably not touching a lot of that money anyways. They probably have a parent or a team that takes care of it. Look at that ball. Rip. You shouldn't give any player that much money until they're 21. Why specifically 21? I was playing Halo at 16. You should have kicked the football more. That's legally adult in every country. Why stop there, though? Why should people be able to play professional football under the age of 21? I don't think, by that logic, no one should be playing professional football. Let alone being paid, right? If making money before you're an adult is a bad thing, you're putting a price tag on it. I say just don't give them any money at all. Don't let them play. Have it just be a bunch of old men. In the United States for American football, there's times where there's middle schoolers who will get recruited by colleges. They'll have offers by the time they're like 13 years old. Yeah, well. Horrible ball. Do we pass it or do we just take it with Vieri? I think we know the answer to that. Oh, rip. Ron, how's it going? Wait, didn't United get like ran through in an expedition match during the World Cup with all their youngsters? Lost 4-2. Wait, didn't Dortmund lose to Vietnam or something as well? Crazy, man. Oh, come on. He has Ochoa in goal. It's not fair, man. No way I'm scoring. Bro, no shot. Try to head it back to the keeper. He doesn't come out. Tomorrow, watch Messi lose and France destroy England. France doesn't play England on Friday. Oh, on Saturday. Yeah. What time are the games tomorrow? World Cup. 9 a.m. for Croatia, Brazil. I can't wait for that one. And then we have Netherlands, Argentina at 1. Woo! Be a good day of football, boys. Which music or rap music you hear? I don't listen to a crazy amount of music, but what I do, my Spotify Wrapped was mainly this non-copyright music. Then outside of that, a little mainstream rap here and there, some Christian rap, some like EDM / just gym outrageous random songs put together to get you pumped. A little bit of jazz, the tiniest amount of country music. Not a lot. Barely any. Anime soundtracks occasionally. That goes kind of in the gym hype playlist as well. The Attack on Titans, the like legendary battle quote, I have that at like the top of my playlist right now. Goes hard, not gonna lie. My Spotify minutes are so bad. Dude, some people are just down bad for the people they listen to. If you are like the 0.0001% of your favorite artists, nah, the FBI's got to be watching you. That's crazy. The most listened to rapper I had was Juice WRLD. That's crazy thinking that most of the stuff I listen to is unreleased stuff, so it doesn't even appear under his name. Bro, he's a cheat code. They gotta patch him. Did you just see that? Can't be leaving me open. I got a real question. Shoot. Messi World Cup inbound. The path is getting laid out where we could have a repeat if both Argentina and Brazil win. The semifinal matchup could be a repeat of the Copa America final. Why are you so easy to ratio? Wait, where did you ratio me? I got it. I have not tweeted in like months. And I got into, I don't even know if it's considered a Twitter fight. But some dude was trying to claim you couldn't make money off of League SBCs last year. And I was trying to tell him how, and he kept telling me, literally, how is it possible that you can make coins off of untradeable packs? I had to walk him through the Libertadores grind and then show him a video. Right to him. Who's Marcus's top 3 rap? Wait, is Beak here? I want to see what Beak finished in terms of who does he listen to again? Quedeca? I want to see if he's top 1% Quedeca. I need to see the numbers. The numbers, Mason. Need them. The packs are tradable though? Yeah, half of them are tradable. I don't think he did them because he, I think, saw the last pack was untradeable and then said he hated League SBCs. But like, he could, at first he couldn't wrap his head around the fact that you could potentially make coins off of them. So it wasn't like he was fighting me, but I think he felt like I was lying to him completely. Because I did write, we ended up making millions off of the Libertadores League SBC last year alone. And he wanted like proof, screenshots, receipts. So I just sent them our 20-minute long video, step by step, bookmark sections, time-stamped, Google Doc, pack by pack, cost by cost, profit by profit, flip by flip. He posted a pic in the music room. I gotta see. He was! He was! Nah, bro. Nah. You spent 178,000. Nah, bro. That's mad. Wait, hold on. But it's only available on the mobile app. Yeah, you can see my songs and stuff. Like, a lot of them are the non-copyright music. Then there's some Christian rap, some Juice WRLD unreleased. More Christian rap, Christian rap, Christian rap, Christian rap. Glimpse of Us, that was the... I forget how that song went. A glimpse of us. That's wild, dude. Rock, nice. "21 Pilots," okay. Okay, that's expected right there. Dude must have had the Spotify app open 24/7. My goodness. Wait, that wasn't Beak's picture? Was I looking at the wrong one? No, that was Beak's. Or did he take a screenshot of someone's? Was that not his? Oh, I see it now. I see it. Yeah, yeah. Only way a city can fill a stadium. Think maybe you'll get your PS5 tomorrow. Nice, man. Just you wait until you play next-gen gameplay. It is a work of art, man. You're going to love it. NF is clear of Quedeca. Jesse. You want to know what's crazy about the statement you just said? That might be the first thing I've ever agreed with you on. What you just said right there. Might be the first time I'm saying that's a W. Oh, you're in. No shot! Literally, no shot. Juice WRLD is better than both amateurs. Dude, Juice... There will be never another Juice WRLD, I feel like. His freestyle ability, his ability to make you relate to his music. Crazy. You know who's the best though? I Show Speed. I was the top 1% of I Show Speed listeners. Relate to his music? Everything okay home? No. I meant, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I meant when I say relate to his music, you don't have to go through what Juice WRLD goes through, but you can feel the emotion it caused him, and you can relate to it in different aspects of your life, even though you're at the same thing. Like, you don't need to be a druggie to feel the way he feels about his use of drugs in regards to maybe, I don't know, an addiction you have in your life. Mansion, How Could You Leave Us? NF old albums are classics. Think I'll skip school tomorrow, buy the PS5, and dry home? Read off the perk. Nah. I'm highly caffeinated, though, I'll tell you that. I got a caffeine addiction. Cloud's a absolute mod. Ugh. Wait, hold on. Did I tell you guys about the time I rizzed up a girl at what would it be called? It was a Christian organization in college. We had like 20 people go on a trip. We drove like a half an hour away to this church, and we stayed at the church for a weekend to do like a retreat. And we did hide. No, I'm not even joking with this. We did hide and seek, and we had teams. So we split up into 2 teams. And the way this, or not hide and seek, we did capture the flag. And the way the capture the flag worked is there was the bottom half of the church and the top half of the church. And so she was on the bottom half team, and I was on the top half team. And I was like right on that line where you could like get tagged. So I would just like sit there and talk to her. And then I went to like one of the back rooms down there, and she saw me go in there, and she came in the back room with me. And instead of tagging me, we just chilled and talked for like 20 minutes. She had an NF hoodie on, and one of my best friends is a huge NF fan. So at the time, I only knew like 2 NF songs. So I was talking to her about NF. I'm like, oh yeah, NF's awesome. And then told her about the songs I liked. And then she went off about NF. And then literally, this chick and I didn't get an ounce of sleep that night. We stayed up, I think, talking for like 8 hours. Did I tell you about the time? Nah, but then get this. So then the following week, we had our, it was on Tuesdays. They would do their, it'd be worship night, so it'd be live music, and then there'd be someone coming in to give a testimony and then a sermon. And before that happens, you're typically out there talking with people. So I'm sitting there talking to some of my friends, and I saw this one chick go and talk to that girl in the NF hoodie, and she like whispered in her ear, and then like she looked at me, and then she came over and she's like, "Can I talk to you?" And she came over, and I don't know what was said to her, but something was said to her where she's like, yeah, I just don't think it's gonna work out between us. I'm like, is it something that chicks just still do? And she's like, maybe. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then I ended up talking to the other girl. I'm like, what did you tell her? She's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, was it something good? She's like, oh, no, it was something bad. I'm like, was it true? She's like, oh, no. I'm like, oh, thank you. Well, Mumbo, I'm one of your best friends. Yeah, long story short, could have met the love of my life. Could have met the love of my life at church group. I got blocked. Bro, she was rizzing me up. That's how crazy it was. She was rizzing me up. She asked me if I saw Friends and the show Friends, and I said I never watched the show Friends, and she's like, I guess we'll have to watch it sometime then. I was like, bro. Christian Moment's good though? Oh no, definitely. Want to know something you never think of? What? Nah, if you're religious and you date within your community, it is I feel like one of the best things ever because you have so much more in common with the people. You have a similar baseline when it comes to potentially like when it comes to wanting to raise a family, what you're looking for in a relationship, boundaries, etc., etc. It makes it so much easier. Good goal. You have a crush on a girl at church? Whatever you say, do not walk up to her and say, God told me you're my future wife. That is the cringiest thing ever. We have someone like that to protect our chastity. Cross-country relationships are such a headache. Just know meeting parents of ethnicities. Wait, we need Kage back, bro. I feel like Kage will come back during Team of the Year. I need to ask Kage. I think he was in a long-term relationship last year. I can't remember if he was or not. It was one of you guys. Marcus was one of them, too. At some point. Oh, no. In high school, I was basically in love with this girl in high school. And her family did not really want her dating a white guy. And the cultural barrier was a huge thing, for sure. Especially in Hmong communities. A lot of Asian communities. Hmong communities, Korean communities, I've experienced with. If it was the other way, it'd be racism. Yeah, it'd be called racism, but at the end of the day, it's not. Like, if you think about it, that could apply to anything. Parents, and especially if you're in a culture, you have certain expectations of what you expect, not what you need, but what you expect your child to be raised into. And when your kid becomes their own person and essentially wants to live a life that's potentially outside of that, it can be very much a shock for the parents. That's just the way it is. At the end of the day, you were able to do what you want to do then. But it doesn't mean your parents might 100% agree with it. Like, for example, my mom right now would love nothing more than me to settle down with a girl and get married and pop out some kids right now. And the fact that I'm not married with kids right now at 24 is something, not that she doesn't approve of. She obviously it's fine that I'm not married with kids yet, but like, she will constantly ask, she's like, oh, are you talking to anyone? Is it serious? But to get through the cultural barrier too, it's one of those things where culture is different than race in that aspect. Just because you're a race doesn't mean you're a certain culture. If a family wants you to keep a culture going, that might be a big thing when it comes to raising families down the line. For example, in a lot of different Asian cultures, there's the idea of you marrying into another family, and if you're giving up your daughter into a family that's not the same culture, they're seen as you're taking away from the culture. That's true with like religion and other things too. Oh, I should have took that first time. Swinging a girl, and we've been together for a year and a bit now. Now go to the same university. Nice. Me and the parents of my partner is tough. Dude, I've met parents where, oh, dude, I'm very big on family units. I'm a very much a family person. And when people come from broken families, it breaks my heart. And especially when you connect with a family and then you're no longer with that person, that's like the worst thing. Like I remember I was talking to a girl and her dad wasn't in the picture. So it was her mom and it was her little brother. And her little brother would come to my football games and I would like do like Nerf battles with them because she lived next door to one of the guys in my friend group. So like every time I went to his house and hung out, he would be out there too. So like I very much was invested in this kid's life, and then when me and the girl no longer were a thing, it negatively affected him for a little bit. But then too, there's the thing with, for me, I introducing someone to my family takes a lot because I don't want to just introduce them to anyone, but also like meeting someone's family too, from like a respect standpoint. Like I want to make sure the father is completely on board with me. Like the respect from the father is a huge thing. Also from the mother, but it's a different kind of respect. Mixed race, so I understand both black and white cultures very well, and I can openly admit European families don't like men of color. That's, I feel like, a pretty common thing. As sad as that is, it's a pretty common thing. I wouldn't say it's racist. They're just traditional in the way they view relationships, which they understand. Yeah, like, I feel like things can be racist, but they also cannot be. Like, something like that could be racist, but also, too, it might be a culture thing or, again, like, expectation thing. If my mom don't like you, I ain't being with you. Simple as that. I feel like a lot of people date. This could be off. I feel like a lot of people date to try to find their mother. Not someone who like looks like their mother, but has similar loving qualities like a mother. I feel like I hear that a lot. My brother's dating a color girl. The way you worded that, man. My gosh. Hey, yo! Chill! This is good and bad. Chill. Relax, calm down. It's a men thing, though. Well, yeah, it's like, especially if the dad's actively involved in the child's life, you're dating his baby girl. And he's thinking in his head that one day you're going to marry her, start a family with her, yada, yada. So he wants to make sure you're not going to be leading her on or be the wrong person. But also, too, from like a safety standpoint, expectation standpoint, like he is her protector. So if you are wanting to take this role, he wants to most likely check you to make sure that you can protect her and provide for her. That's why I see a lot of fathers be extremely hard on a guy right away, but then slowly just fall in love with him. Like, at least in America, too, there's a meme that goes around where it's like the father who has daughter but doesn't have a son will fall in love with the daughter's boyfriend and treat him like a son, and even if they break up, they'll still make plans and like hang out together. Men underestimate how scary it is to have a dog. I don't think they underestimate. I think more than anything, I think men now understand how scary it is to have a child in general. But yeah, if you're wanting to be a father, like I know that runs through my mind a lot. It's like, if I want to be a father, if I had a son, what would that look like? If I had a daughter, what would that look like? Dude, halftime and golden goal's insane. I wonder if someone's gone like a full game before. You must be better than him. It's not even you have to be better than him. He wants to make sure that you can provide for his daughter, is the way I look at it. And providing comes in different ways. For some people, it might be financial. For some others, it might be more of an emotional need, physical need, structural need. Foul? Bro, what? How'd that go in? We just got Belgium done. Did we just finish that now? Or did I have it done and I realized? Alright, Croatia's next. Sounds naive, but I think it's easier for sons to connect with their mothers than for daughters to connect with their fathers. Let's see. I think it's easier for sons to connect with their mothers. It's a different relationship. It's hard to, I think, compare the two, but I think I agree with that statement. Because in my head, what I initially think of, at least from like my family structure, is typically you'll have a mother who will want to make sure like her son is loved, will want someone to love him as well. And there's that dynamic to it, which doesn't come with a lot of expectations, maybe outside of the emotional, of like, oh, I can tell this girl really cares for you, and she'd be good for you. From a father to a daughter, there's going to be a lot more structure in that. That's going to make it a lot harder for them to connect. And also, too, like, it's typical that when a daughter's younger, she's like your little princess, yada, yada, and then once she hits puberty, she hates you or hates the parents in general, and then you hope when she gets older, she goes back to loving you. It's like the typical stereotype you hear. Which also what makes father and daughter's relationships difficult. Again, I'm better with my mom than when I dress up as a girl and connect with my dad. Do you guys have father-daughter dances in Europe? Or is that just an American thing? Like when you're in elementary school, so like when you're like 7, 8 years old, most schools will throw together, it's called a daddy-daughter dance. Or a father-daughter dance, I mean. I hate that our society has made the word daddy so weird. American thing? But also, too, like, there's the whole dynamic as well, where a father essentially shows his daughter how a man should treat her growing up, and kind of sets that standard as well. That's a bigger responsibility I feel like fathers have. At 12 to 19 stage of growing up must be the most stressful shit for parents. Oh, I look back to me, just me, not even my twin sister, but like me, how much I've changed as a person from a little kid to now. looking back, I wouldn't say ungrateful, just not able to comprehend the sacrifices that parents make and how when you don't agree with something they're doing, you truly don't actually disagree with what they're doing. You just don't understand it. So like one of those things is when you're a kid and kids around you are all going on these like big fancy trips or going on vacations, and not every family's able to do that. Or you have some families that are constantly going out to eat every single night of the week or multiple times a week, and you might only go once every month or something. And as a kid, you might not be able to process that in terms of understanding your parents' situation. You might see that as, oh, all my friends get to do this, but I get to do this. Why is that the case? And it truly breaks a parent heart because they're wanting to provide for you. Like something I heard recently that really hit home for me was like when you're younger, how much a certain brand means to you, or like a certain outfit from a certain place means to you, rather than the item itself. Where it's like, I wasn't that way when I was younger, but let's say, I don't even know what's a good example. Name brand product versus a cheaper product that does the exact same job, but is way cheaper. You want the more expensive one because you think it's cool, or all your friends have it. To parents looking at it now, it's like, dang, I'd be the one who'd want to save the money. I'm going to school anymore, homeschool now. Got friends. Hi, Mumbo, how are you? I opened my icon back to get 91 Badesi. I will switch with you. I will take your Badesi. I'll put him in my team right now. You can take my Littman if you want him. Massive responsibilities. Daughters first teaching of masculinity, and their first male role models are their fathers. Yeah. I feel like the topic of masculinity doesn't get brought up that often unless it's in the context of toxic masculinity. And I hate how toxic masculinity gets thrown around, especially from women, because I feel like there's a lot of women that will speak on quote-unquote toxic masculinity, and they'll point on things that aren't toxic masculinity. They'll just point to masculine traits, and they just don't like them because they received them probably from someone that wasn't the right person for them. Or they've had a negative experience in the past, and they correlate it to everything then. But if the opposite happens, and a man has a negative experience with a woman and does the same thing, it's seen as sexist. Hypermasculinity is so present in the media, it's such a big problem. No, it's not a freedom of speech problem. It's what speech is popular versus not popular. And people will go off of that in terms of talking points. Like, that's pretty common in a lot of social circles, is in the United States, even though we have freedom of speech, people will not say how they actually feel. They'll only say what they feel like is deemed as socially acceptable because they don't want to get into an argument or piss someone off. So they'll have their feelings or emotions or their thoughts or convictions on certain things, and they'll either frame it in a different light or they'll completely abandon them for talking points or things to say that are more correct. The only display of masculinity in the media is the extreme side. Yep. Meanwhile, you got all the men suffering behind the scenes. Suicide rates have never been higher, I'm pretty sure. Depression's never been higher. Men are still the problems in every case. Everywhere you look. I'm not saying it's a woman thing. I'm just saying in general. Just men get so much crap, it feels like. Yeah, freedom of speech is quite literally one of the best things. I don't know, I feel like too, social media makes it hard to do that in general. Like, think of it this way. If you're in person and you're in a community with people where you share either cultural values or religious values, or let's say you live in like the same neighborhood, so you see these people on a day-to-day basis, the conversations you're going to be able to have with those people are going to be a lot easier than ones with tweeting something randomly on the internet where millions of people that disagree with you or just hate you and will take the opposite of your opinion on anything and instantly be there to critique it will always be there. And that's what social media is bred for, is conflict. That's what gets it the views. That's what gets it the attention, the drama. You see it a lot in politics, but it's in like every part of life. Then you step away from that, and it's like you have actual conversations with real people in real life. Oh my gosh. It's so refreshing, man. Hypermasculinity has good benefits, but I definitely think it contributes to young men not understanding their identity and purpose. I think, too, one of the best points about masculinity brought up that I've heard is masculinity is not the problem, but if men don't get masculinity from their fathers, they'll try to find it elsewhere. It's not like it'll just disappear, it's no longer there. They're going to try to replace it with someone else or something else. So whatever they find could be good or bad. Or even, heck, their fathers themselves, if it's a negative thing. They're getting raised in that versus a positive thing. But then again, who's going to determine what's good or bad? Like, one of the most common ones recently has been Andrew Tate. Like, regardless of what people think of Andrew Tate, I'm sure there's things you can see that you agree with Andrew Tate and things you disagree. But one of the biggest complaints people have, especially religious people have with Andrew Tate, is he gives a view of masculinity that's very money-driven, sex-driven, woman-driven. Discipline definitely when it comes to like working out and stuff. But then when it comes to like the religious side, it's not there. Or it's the religious side in the sense of the sake of freedom of religion. But like actually being able to commit to the religion, have that faith, is lacking. Like that was one of the most interesting things I saw with Muslims was it's like a meme at this point with Muslims, and it's similar with Christians but in different lights. But it's like Muslims who will what's the meme? It's like Muslims will eat pork and get upset because they ate pork, but then they'll go sleep with like 20 people and go smoke and drink. But it's the same then in different lights in Christian circles. You have Christians who will claim Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and then live lives that is just nonstop continuous sin that they don't want to be freed from. The religion of Islam, though, there's a power dynamic. A sin and some sins hold more weight than others. True. Stop right there. Come to Islamic country and judgery. What did I say there that was judging? I very much respect Islam. I was just making a statement off of how people will treat it. There's nothing against Islam. It's how people will use a faith or use a religion. And be okay with the things they're okay with and not be okay with the things they're not okay with. The disrespect in Qatar is generally annoying. American Muslims are putting out a wrong image of Islams. I'm speaking mainly Europeans that I see. I'm not even thinking of American Muslims. Most of my Islam, either social media that I see, is very much UK based. The hypocrisy of the West is unreal. Oh no, there's definitely hypocrisy in the West, but it's true in any religion that people are following. My beef is not the religions. If you listen to what I say, I'll say it again, Akram, because I think you misunderstood me. What I'm saying is people will, when it comes to their religion, they will put on a face or a front when it comes to them feeling the need to act a certain way, where it's like if they eat, let's say, pork. If we're talking about Islam, they're like, oh, no, I can't eat pork because of XYZ reason. But then when it comes to them justifying them sleeping around, drinking all the time, smoking, doing all these things, they'll find a way to justify it. I'm not saying that as Muslims justify it, as individuals following the religion. Same way with Christians, they'll have a bunch of people who will claim Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, save them from the sin, and they want to repent from it, but then go straight back to the lives that they were living before, that they claim they want to be free from. If that makes sense, is what I was trying to get at. DG, it's going good, buddy. How are you doing? DM you in Discord? What day was that? Because I don't see any message right now. Unless I accidentally clicked it into it. Can Western people convincingly say all social groups get equal treatment and equal liberties? If you ask 1,000 people that question, they will have 1,000 different responses. So there would never be a consensus answer. Exactly, but that type of hypocrisy is in the low faithful people. Which, Akram, I don't know if you are understanding what I'm saying, buddy. That's exactly the point I was making. That's why I brought up different religions. I didn't say one religion. I pointed to multiple religions where people who don't want to follow the religion, or will follow it on a just base level, so to say, but not actually take it seriously. That's what I'm getting at. Not once there did I attack Islam or Christianity. You had me like an hour ago. You live tonight. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was live by the time you probably said that. I get you now? No, buddy. No, I was just making sure you understood what I said. Because typically, whenever people talk about these things online, it's impossible to have an actual conversation because there's no really back and forth, right? I could read one message you have in text and say 10 different sentences by the time you're able to type something else, and then have it go a completely different way. Catholic? Nice. Guess I would technically be a non-denominational Christian, but I was raised Catholic and very heavily involved in my non-denominational / Southern Baptist church. Ireland's really bad with religion. Define what you mean by like Ireland's really bad with religion. What does that mean? This one, yeah, we were talking about relationships, and now we're talking about religion and Western social issues. Yeah, I love it though. Need something to do when we're grinding swaps. By the way, did you know that we can't let someone insult Christianity or Jesus, son of Mary? In which way, though? What does the Quran say with that? Because insulting could mean different things. Insulting in the sense of like calling them a bad name or disrespecting them. Because then going down that route, one could make the argument the title someone gives Jesus could be disrespect. Whether the weight they give him or the lack of weight. That's where different religions will differ. You know, we can't... Ireland has really bad with religion, mate. Like, Ireland and Northern Ireland, lad, don't like each other. Some people are really nice with Catholics. They really cause issues with Protestants. They sometimes start it. It happened years ago. I'd see that. In the Western world, in the United States, it's very much... it's not even just like a different religion thing. It's a religion versus non-religion. A secular world versus a non-secular world is where a lot of stuff comes from. Especially when it comes to social issues. You'll see a social issue pop up and people will instantly point to religion as the worst thing ever or the best thing ever because of said issue or because of said oppression. I was in church in Florida, mate. What's up with kissing and capel? Because we shake hands in church? Wait, what? I have no idea what that is. Do not insult those who invoke other than Allah, lest they insult Allah in enmity without knowledge. I'm taking a philosophical course and understanding the existence of God is truly something. The religion itself, believing in God, agnosticism, atheism, is a very interesting topic because most people, one way or another, don't think or look deep into it. You'll have a lot of people from a cultural level that will let's say, have their family grow up in like the Catholic Church, so they'll say, "Oh, I'm a Catholic," but it's more of like a cultural thing, but they're not actively participating in it. Or you'll have someone who had a bad experience in the church. Now they consider themselves an atheist, not because of their understanding of the world, but because of a bad relationship they had within the church, and they don't want to go to church anymore. Then you'll have people who look into things more. Well, they'll look into, hey, I'm questioning whether or not I believe God created the universe. Logically, I don't see it tracking where that could be the case from the limited information I've consumed, or enough information where I feel like I can make a case that, hey, I think I'm an atheist because I don't believe in God. Or they're left confused and in the middle somewhere where it's like, oh, agnostic, where if information presents itself, they'd gladly look into it. Then you'll have it the other way, where people will be religious, no matter what their religion is, claim to be it, but not be able to tell you anything about it, and then go down the spectrum of people who then will devote their whole life to it and can either from the Quran, the Bible, the Torah, memorize every single word and every single scripture. It's all a spectrum. And like from a philosophical standpoint, dude, he has no teeth. Neymar has no teeth. I'm telling you, bro. They do him dirty every single time on the screen. From a philosophy standpoint, especially when I took my philosophy class in college, when it comes to the conversations with people, I love having those philosophical conversations, of thinking deeper into it. Believe in God, so I do. The religious aspect of God and the philosophical aspect of God, although similar, still. Oh, definitely, yeah. There's two completely different with that. But from a philosophical lens, one of the interesting concepts I remember we went over, and this was like, probably 6-7 years ago now. I remember one of the things that was brought up was the idea of heaven and hell, and then broken up into like quadrants of thought processes when it approaches it. Whereas like, if there's God and there's a heaven and hell, if you believe in God and follow God, heaven. If you don't believe in God, you don't believe in a heaven and hell, and there isn't a heaven and hell, and there is no God, where you'd end up. And it's like all these different quadrants of essentially our teacher didn't try to make it like a pros and cons list, but try to show it in a way where it's like, these are the boxes people end up in. And a lot of the time they'll base their moral structures, they'll base their social structures, they'll base their relationships off of these things. And if someone's outside of that kind of group, it's going to be hard for them to be able to understand maybe some of the decisions you're making in your life. See you, DG. Have a good night, buddy. Ain't no way I missed that. No shot. Head in bed, Akram. Alright, see you, buddy. See you. I generally can't imagine just the plain idea of nothingness for eternity post-death. I can't either. And for let's say the people who aren't religious, who see the idea of following a faith as something that's a life of just, I don't even know how to word it. Like, typically if you ask people, especially in the college scene, one of the things was whether they were religious or not. One of the reasons why they didn't choose to follow it in college was they wanted to have fun, they wanted to party, they wanted to do all these things. That religion or through their faith they would feel convicted by, so therefore they wouldn't want to do it, and they feel like they're missing out on those things, which that's an interesting idea as a society in terms of what people feel like they're missing out on versus what people don't. Because, like, for me, being someone who has a very strong faith as a Christian, I don't really feel like I'm missing out on much with different things. If anything, I kind of feel freedom in a lot of ways. I've heard in some areas that I'm not having to go through, which is a very interesting discussion to have with people when it comes to just different areas of life. Oh, what a shot! Been tercera. Like, for example, one of the things that I think I've talked to you guys about this before. One second, I'll read your message. People have become so in favor of their individual liberties that the smallest boundaries imposed on people makes them go crazy. I feel like it's a mix of family structure. It's a mix of government. It's a mix of individuality. It's a mix of secularism. It's a mix of a bunch of different things where people want to be able to live their life without any consequences of their actions, but also be able to justify every action they make as the morally correct one. And those people, I feel like, are the hardest to get along with, because a lot of times they'll see their actions as always in the correct, or everyone's out to get them and they've never done anything wrong in their life. And it's very hard to have conversations with people like that. But for example, like one of the things that like I've really enjoyed recently that I've been partaking in, I mentioned it last year. It was a little bit different last year. So the church that I'm a part of, we have community groups where it's essentially people from the church. We get together outside the church. We have a meal together. We go over what the sermon was. We get into the Bible a little bit too, read some scripture. And we're essentially just like doing life together. Some weeks it'll be just like us hanging out with people in the community. Other weeks it'll be like us breaking up into like men's and women's groups. And one of the things with the people that hosted at their house is they have like their own food pantry. And with them being pregnant right now, getting ready to give birth in the upcoming months, they're not able to put a lot of resources towards that anymore. So I put myself in a position where I'm kind of essentially taking over for them. So every time I go to the store and shop, I'm basically picking up a lot of different food for the people who can't get into the homeless shelter or back and forth in between them. And they have like a little stand put up that they're able to essentially just take the food. They're able to suggest things as well that we can get then from the store for them, whether it's beauty products, if they need toothpaste, toothbrushes, utensils. And just the sheer amount of joy it's brought my life, doing something as little as that is, I feel like, unmatchable. The understanding of just how blessed I am with the things I have, and even if I gave away a little bit of that and could positively benefit someone's life, how easy it is to have a more open heart to things like that. Whether that's your time, money, conversations with people. It's crazy, man. We had, there's a woman in our group who's an immigrant from Africa, and she has a son who I think he's in his 30s or his late 20s, and he has disabilities, and he's still living in Africa away from her. And he was going to get kicked out of his house because he didn't have the money to pay for his shelter. And it was a matter of less than a day he was going to get kicked out. And within, like, I think it was 6 hours, us as a community were able to raise the money for him just from people just their pockets open and their hearts open, able to provide for this family. And just to see the tangible impact of that He's just amazing. There are also individuals that don't develop through or at their best trajectory is not very successful. Also, individuals that don't develop through or at best their trajectory is not very successful. And I think, too, there's a mix of what you said there, and it's, I think, a little deeper than that. Because you get people in a bunch of different groups. So let's say starting points. If you're coming from a family that has more resources than another family, and you're going to point to that as the reason why you can't be successful or as a reason to give up because you're never going to make it, you're always going to look at the people who have more than you as given that. Then there's going to be a mix between that where you might have family in positions of power or the people you know, the nepotism to it where any job or any connection that gets you anything, if they don't have that connection, they're going to view that as either they can't do it or it should have never happened because of the nepotism. You didn't deserve that. Some people go the other route where they want nothing given to them. I'm kind of more in that camp where even if I have connections or someone could help out with something, it's very hard for me to want to give up control about little things. I'd rather say I did it myself rather than accept help from other people. And I know for me, that comes from like a pride standpoint, which I've been really trying to work on the past couple of years. And I feel like I've made a lot of progress, but it's still a huge thing that I feel like if you don't keep it in check can come up from time to time. It's moments like that which makes you generally realize how beautiful of an impact people can have. It's like the crazy thing is how I process it too. Because it's like if I'm able to save X amount of money a month and put it into investments for my future, so one day I can retire and not have to work a job, live with my family, and be good for the rest of my life and be able to provide for like my children, my grandchildren, future generations. The idea of like forking over a little bit of that now to provide for people who are currently in need, if you don't know them or you don't understand where the money's going, could be a thing where it's like, yeah, why would I do that? You don't know where it's going to go, especially if in the past you've seen people misuse money given to them. But like when you generally know where it's going and it comes out of like a place of an open heart where you're wanting the best for the person, I feel like it's just so much more beautiful. Yeah, our church is doing a thing for Christmas too. So we have a couple schools in the area that are heavily underfunded and they have huge populations of homelessness with their students and families. Our church, for the start of the school year in September, I think got about 200 backpacks for the students. So we were able to raise money for and buy the supplies of 200 backpacks, clothes, utensils. Was able to put them all together and then have like the families come in and like meet our church, meet our community, and us get to meet them. And then we're doing the same thing for Christmas too. Like all these different families, I believe it's 150 this time, put together Christmas lists of things their kid wants. So it's like 1 or 2 toys, 1 or 2 books, food, these things, and being able to put that all together and see how the money's used is just beautiful, man. I don't even have words to put to it. Some moments like that which make you... Oh, I read that. Too much pride has consequences. Yep. That's why... what's the saying with pride? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Pride shows up differently in a lot of people's lives, and it's a huge thing. I don't even know how many games I've been winning versus losing. I'm kind of on autopilot right now. I should probably check.
lot of religious institutions, as of recently, have become disrespected. They forget that they're arguably one of the only remaining institutions that keep all sorts of people together.
That, and there's a mix of distrust in a lot of the communities as well. Whether that be like internal checks or external checks. Perfect example to point to is like the Catholic Church. Whenever you hear about like popes or cardinals touching children and doing stuff to children, the whole church will then get the rep for that. Or the people at the top if it comes to light that people are hiding stuff. Or like in other churches, like the one I'm more familiar with in kind of non-denominational and Southern Baptist circles, is you'll have people who what's the word I'm looking for? Not be honest with either sin they're going through, or will preach one thing on Sunday and put on like a facade and then be a completely different person throughout the week. And just having a healthy church, I feel like you need those elders. You need that community that holds you accountable. So like the pastor we have very much is that direction where every little thing he's going through, every little thing he's struggling with, his family knows about it, elders know about it, and the saying for our church is, or one of the things they kind of lead on is weakness. People want to talk about their weakness and what they're struggling with rather than just keep it in the dark, because in the dark is where all that festers. But also too, I think it's safe to say, from a social standpoint, socially, I feel like from religious institutions where kind of the social movements are at this period, in a lot of ways can still correlate, but there's a lot of difference in them, in difference of opinion or what people should and should not be able to do, to the point where people will put it as one way or another. Like, you can't be a part of said institution if you are this person or that person, or because you're this person or that person, therefore you cannot participate in this, or this has to be bad. I feel like that's been the case throughout history, but now with social media, it's so much easier to see all that. Then you take it by country, culture by culture. There's going to be little things that pop up here and there that people are going to have as the reasons for not wanting to participate in said religion. Donovan's picking my pockets, bro. What's going on? Brexit.
So many churches and religions provide crazy amount of means for charities and good causes.
Yep. And the typical response I'll hear from that is whenever it's talked about that churches do all these amazing things, is it should be done by the government. Which, if people agree with that or not, I think it's inarguable the amount of good things churches do. The question comes down to the negative things that happen in the church, whether you see that as a capital C, as like churches in general, the body of Christ if you're a Christian, or other religious institutions, versus a individual church and its responsibility to its community, or how it's neglected its community.
The man of cancel culture is insane about it all, condemning the sexual assault of young children, obviously, but like when you say just all it takes is one case for the whole reputation to be ruined.
Well, it's hypocritical, because everyone is okay with demeaning a group of people or an institution for one case of something versus another group. You hear it all the time with different things. Everyone is biased in that sense, or everyone's hypocritical. One case of something is enough if you already agree the thing being done is a negative, or the group of people is a negative as a whole, and it's your reason for justification. For example, using that example again, if someone feels like they already don't want to be going to church, that gives them another reason to not do it. like even for me, when I had the falling out with my church at the end of my high school, right around the time I was getting confirmed, that was very much a thing for our family where essentially got to a position where we essentially weren't going to get confirmed because of stupid rules that were set up that we were kind of figuring out for the first time. To give a little bit more context, if you were going to get confirmed at this Catholic church, you had to go to the Sunday school classes, and essentially you did nothing in these classes. You sat there for an hour and literally did nothing. You talked to each other because most of it was run by parents, where it was like a show up and you get the grade sort of thing. If you missed, you had to write these long papers. And since my sister and I were always in travel tournaments out of state competing, we were not there some weeks, and then we'd write the papers. The first one was we wrote it together, put our names on top. They said they needed to be separate. Then we wrote one separate, but it sounded too close enough, so then we wrote them separately but talked about it together, and essentially ended up being the person accused us of cheating, which I don't know what's cheating about talking about scripture and the beauty of faith and writing that out from two different perspectives. But they essentially said, or not them, the lady who ran the department said essentially we weren't in a position to be confirmed, and that we probably wouldn't be getting confirmed. So then my dad called, almost got her fired. Essentially got to the point where it was either she gets fired or we leave the church, and they didn't fire her, so we ended up leaving that church. But then I found community in college, but for like my parents, they don't go to church, or they don't go that often, and then my sister's not really either. So it's like the trajectories of that event happening, I can see the different perspectives of that, where it's like for my dad, it's more along the camp of you can put all those things together. Negative experience in this particular church, X event happening with X group of people, maybe he's donating not knowing where the money's going. Therefore, these three things are going to cause him to not want to go again. Or like me, had that negative experience with the church, no longer felt welcome at the church. Instead of just not going anymore, I found a new one. And how that trajectory could have completely changed is all from people I met, who I associated with, thoughts I had, and it's just crazy how so much different your life could look because of that. Like, I might not even be a streamer if it wasn't for college. I streamed a little bit before college, but it was Call of Duty. And then after my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I didn't like the Call of Duty that was out, and I was going to give up streaming completely. And would have never transitioned to FIFA by my senior year if I would have did that. I took a little hiatus. I think I took 6 months off of streaming, then came back, streamed random games, but then realized I could make more content through FIFA, and I enjoyed it more. And then from there, we started growing this community a couple years ago. It ruins the general reputation of all churches as well. 2-3 examples of sexual assault from popes of Catholic churches causes all Catholic churches to be generalized as places full of sexual assault. Same with school shootings. Yep, and like my thing is, when it comes to all these different things, the way people talk about them, especially on social media, is the copy and paste catchphrase or the copy and paste saying, but not the thoughts behind it. And I more like the thoughts behind it. If someone feels a particular way about something, I want to understand their thought process and how they arrive there. I want to ask questions. I want to get deep into their skull of like how this person ended up where they are. I feel like a lot of times people don't get there because they're not used to having open conversations, or they're not used to building relationships with that. And another thing that sucks with that, going on a tangent now, if you only identify with groups that already share the things you agree with, and those are the only people you talk to, of course you're going to feel like you're never going to have your mind changed or you're always right, because no one's ever challenging you on anything. And I think that's a very scary thing, is as a culture, people have always been divided in a bunch of different ways. But the scary thing about social media now is it seems like people are just living in completely different grids when it comes to what truth is, what positions people have, and none of it's like open for discussion. Story of Mumbo.
Exactly the same. The beliefs have to be justified through reasoning and not just reliable source.
But it's like, too, the people who will have no... It's tough, man, because I'm going to get shit from every group of people if I say this, but I'll still say it. It's interesting where critical thinking applies to, or things apply to. You'll have people who will have critical thinking in some areas of life and then won't apply it to other areas. I'm not going to get specific with those areas because that can be an even bigger tangent, but what people are able to question, what people are able to believe, how they choose to surround themselves with people, what they do, a lot of that ties together, because you're not gonna consume media that is gonna tell you the things you're doing are negative. A lot of people won't, and be okay with that. You're gonna want to either shut it out or have an extremely negative response when you hear it. I feel like the perfect overlap with that where it works is like the fitness community to a certain extent. Because I feel like when you get deep enough into the fitness community with all the crap in it, all the different people, all the different ways people want to work out, be healthy, not be healthy, what is healthy, what's not, what's illegal, what's not illegal, are steroids good or this bad? I feel like there's a level of understanding that there is a respect no matter what point of a fitness journey someone's on, where making the effort to improve yourself is seen as a positive thing. Like, you could be the most extremely overweight person versus the most skinniest person in the world, and your goals might be completely different on what you're trying to achieve. That extremely fat person might want to lose weight to get to a healthier weight and be able to live a healthier life so they can see their kids for longer periods of time, be able to do more activities, feel better physically, mentally, all these different things. Someone extremely skinny might want to put on muscle to maybe fit in socially, want to look a certain way, want to be able to lift heavier things, like whatever it is. Completely different perspectives people are coming in at, but there's like this sense of camaraderie and this sense of like, we understand you, that is like beautiful about that. And people outside that community will look at it and they'll say, oh, fitness people don't care about fat people. It's like, are you kidding me? What? And anytime I see those arguments happen or like those conversations happen, it's typically someone who is overweight that is trying to make excuses for why it's healthy to be overweight. It's never that you should be loving yourself and your body. It's always from the perspective of a person's overweight and justifying why it's healthy for them to be at where they're at. And where they'll get crap from the fitness community is a lot of people in the fitness community will love them, say, hey, you should love yourself for where your body is. But if you're trying to get healthy, there's certain things that you should do to get healthy. You don't have to do them, but staying where you are is not going to be a healthy thing. To the point where I've seen like TikToks and stuff of people who will go to the doctor. The doctor will tell them they're overweight and want them to step on the scale, get certain tests, and they'll just refuse it. Which is crazy to me, man. But like, even better example is the My 600 Pound Life. I don't think anyone in the world could convince me that a single person on My 600 Pound Life, when literally all they do is exist by laying on a bed all day and eating mass amount of food with the loved ones around them, giving them anything they want, and essentially allowing it to happen till it reaches a breaking point where they realize they're going to die if they don't change their life, and then they make changes to their life. It goes more of a positive direction. You have people who weigh 600 pounds who get down to like 250. And then all their stories are the same. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. It has to be one of the funniest and saddest shows. It is, I agree, it is one of the most beautiful shows for that reason. It's a mix of like laughter, sadness, motivation, Everything, man.
It's sad when actually processing how vulnerable and unaware people can be, or what they're consuming. But in terms of entertainment and people in the show,
yeah, it's also a thing. So I've talked about this briefly before. I don't mention it that often, but some people are addicted to alcohol. Some people have different addictions. I feel like I'm addicted to food. I feel like that's a pretty common thing people will say. But I have a seriously bad emotional connection when it comes to food, where if I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling upset, it is very easy for me to binge food. It's something that I have more in check now over the years, but I could go completely off the rails if I don't hold myself accountable, have the people around me hold me accountable, or like have a sense of reality of where I'm at with the situation. And typically what I find is, even though, yeah, like not having unhealthy food in the house can help, it's more of a mental thing. I have to think through the process of, hey, how am I feeling? What is causing me to eat this way? And then when I'm done eating this way and I feel sick about it, I tell myself I'm never going to do this again because of XYZ. Why am I doing it again in the future? What is causing me to do that? I feel like a lot of people don't think about things that deeply because it's very emotional. It's very difficult to confront yourself with something you're struggling with. And I feel like that's why for a lot of people, therapy is such a helpful tool, because they don't want to ask themselves the questions or go through it. But I find you need to, man. You need to ask yourself the hard questions, because if you truly love yourself, I'm a firm believer of you should be the hardest one on yourself. And like, I could have a day where I'm eating 5,000 calories versus a day where I'm eating barely anything. And the difference on the two is completely mental. Yeah, sure, maybe doing more exercise one day and not enough the other day will happen here or there. But more for me, where I find is like the day I'm eating a crap ton of food is typically when I'm sitting in front of my TV watching a movie or watching like YouTube and I'm bored. Like, I'll eat out of boredom is a way to fill time, or the dopamine rush I get of having a candy or an ice cream, and it hits that part of me where it's like, I need more, I need more, I need more. But then again, like, the gym could be the same thing. I could go to the gym, be doing an exercise, and be in the zone. It's like, yes, love this, I need more. Just a matter of self-control. True. Also, this is the thing people don't want to talk about either. It's a lot of work to think about goals for yourself. I know it's kind of cliche, like new year, new me. Everyone should make a goal for the year and try to stick to it. But like, truly, if you are trying to achieve something on a day-to-day basis, it is going to be almost impossible for you on an emotional basis to be able to do what it takes to achieve said goal. Because a lot of days you're not going to feel like doing said thing. But having a roadmap and an understanding of what needs to be done to achieve something will get you there. If I try to lose weight right now, which I'm currently cutting, and I have a certain goal weight I'm trying to get to, if I didn't track the foods I ate and kind of bought whenever, or like said, I'm going to eat whatever I feel like, or I'm going to work out only on days I feel like working out, I'm never probably going to get to that goal. However, if I have an understanding and a roadmap of what it's going to take to achieve that, it's going to make it a lot easier for me every single day to do those things, or at least a lot of those good habits that are going to build towards that goal, and not do a lot of the negative ones that are going to take me away from it. And a lot of it comes from asking myself the question, why am I doing this? So if it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm about to go to bed, but I'm about to binge a bunch of junk food for no reason, and I ask myself, why am I doing this? Is the answer I'm hungry? I'm starving? If that's the case, what better food could I eat? Is it because I'm bored and I want something to do? Maybe. And sometimes it might be a thing where I don't feel good enough and I want to just eat a crap ton of food to put on more weight because I feel bad about myself. Like, whatever it is, talking yourself through it a lot of times can give you the answers. Andrew Tate quote I really like: the man who goes to the gym regardless of how they feel will always outperform and succeed more than the person who goes to the gym and when they want to. True. I kind of feel that way with streaming to a certain extent. I've streamed almost not every single day for the past 3 years, but if you would take all 365 days, if it's Monday through Friday in my typical work week when I'm working from home, it is very rare that I'm not live after work. It might be because I have an appointment or I have people I'm hanging out with or I'm out of town or it's a holiday, this and that. But if it's not that, I'm typically here. And a lot of that's not because I'm like, oh, you know what I feel like doing today? I feel like streaming. Or I really feel like playing FIFA. A lot of that is actually outside of however I feel. I could have a day like today where there was very little content in terms of what I wanted to grind versus other days where we might have repeatable SBCs, we might have a new promo, league SBCs might drop. And my emotions that are nothing compared to the community aspect of what exists there. So it's like the ability for us to stream almost every single day for the past 3 years, or most days I should say, allows us a unique opportunity where no matter what content's out, people expect us to be here. There's people who might be coming off a day of work or coming out of school and they had the most awful day ever. And for whatever reason, they want to come to this stream, talk to you guys, and watch me flip cards for profit on the transfer list and then be sucky when I actually play FIFA. And for whatever reason, that's their sense of community. And I feel that's a privilege that I carry that not everyone has or not everyone understands, especially in my like day-to-day life. But that is something that I take very serious. Yeah, there's a lot of good and bad that come from that. For a long time, it was the not being able to know how to balance it or having unrealistic goals where it was, okay, I can't hang out with any person. I can't see family. I need to stream for like 8 hours a day. Then I'd ask myself the question, why am I doing that? Do I want this to be a full-time job? Okay, maybe I did in college a little bit. But it's like, I love my job. I love having the money that comes from it where I don't need to rely on streaming. Then anything that comes from streaming is just a good time. It's a hobby. It's a side hobby. It's also a business too. But it's like I evaluate those things. It's like, okay, if you would tell me tomorrow, let's use FIFA Bros as the example. I don't know what his viewership's been lately. I think a lot of the FIFA community is down a bit. But let's use like FIFA Bros. If I would watch a FIFA Bros stream and I see he has like 200 people there, I say to myself, wow, why don't I have that? If you could tell me right now, yo, you could have 200 plus people in every single stream at any single given point, get 100 plus subs a day for the rest of eternity. All you got to do is stop going to your church group, stop going to your family dinner nights on Wednesdays. Instead of streaming like 2 to 3 hours, you got to start streaming 5 to 6 every single night. You need to stop working out because that hour or so there is cutting into time streaming. I would 100% now turn that down because I value the things outside of it enough. But there would be times in the past where I'd look at that and be extremely prideful and be like, you know what? I deserve to have that. For whatever reason, I need it. I need it. What I have is not enough. I'm not grateful enough for this. I see other people who've been doing it for shorter periods of time who have more than me. Why is that the case? That's a very negative headspace to be in for multiple reasons. One, you lose sight of the community you built. Two, you keep chasing a number, which I've done that in the past where it's like you chase a number. You're never going to be happy with that, whether it's money, whether it's viewers, subscribers, especially mixing that with social media. That is always going to be a recipe for a disaster because you're going to do whatever it takes to get that number to go up then. And everyone's going to hit a peak eventually. But now I find myself in this like weird new middle ground where it's like I look at the time I put into streaming, put in the time I create content. I'm looking at it from more of a perspective of, hey, what can I do on a day-to-day basis where I can still show up? I can still grow this community. I can still provide whatever's needed to the people in this community. We can still have this kind of community aspect while also having balance in my life. If that leads to lower growth, so be it, man. I'm happy with that. But if you would have asked me 4 years ago, probably would have been a completely different answer. But that also comes with who you surround yourself with. If I only talk to streamers who do nothing but stream all day as their full-time job, their advice will probably be more along the lines of like, hey, you really need to grind for it if you're trying to make this a full-time job. If I'm talking to people who see video games as a waste of time, they're going to see any moment put into streaming or creating content as not worth it or taken away from those relationships. So it's important to kind of understand where people are coming from too. For example, who you take advice from. When I was younger, I feel like I fell in the habit of just taking advice from everyone. Now I try to take advice with an understanding of where the person's coming from. I'm able to kind of take the information they're providing me and see if it checks out. Like if I'm going to get fitness advice, I can point to science when it comes to fitness advice, whether or not something is actually scientifically sound, what they're saying is true. When it comes to like what's going to be a good workout in the gym and receive certain results, I'm going to look in the background of a person as well. If someone who's completely roided out and is telling me to eat nothing but raw meat and live my ancestral tendencies and deny being on steroids, but then it gets leaked that he's paying over $10,000 a month for steroids, and he makes an apology video, and you took motivation from him, it's like you got to evaluate that information. Yeah, Liver King. If it wasn't obvious, Liver King. But also too, it's like going more to like the faith lens. I know myself as a person and what my desires would be if I was one of those people who got like too big too soon, right? Like the overnight success. You're getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of subscribers, millions of dollars a year. If I didn't have that firm foundation around me, if I didn't have the kind of moral foundation that I want to live and have held accountable to me, it could be very easily for me to sit here and kind of do whatever it take to have that money keep pouring in, have those views keep pouring in, have that content keep pouring in. And very quickly, you can find yourself in a position where you wake up one morning and you just feel completely lost. And you look around you and no one or nothing that you originally wanted is there anymore. And that's a very kind of dark thought to have. Is like waking up one morning and being like, I missed that. That's why I'm so grateful for you guys too, because I feel like the mods in us have it a lot better, but like some of you guys who lurk too, or some of the people who are in a lot of streams in general have it as well, where it's like if you see me doing something that you know is out of character for me, you'll typically call me out on it, whether I like it or not. And it goes the other direction too. If I see you guys acting out of character, I'll typically say something. The motive behind why you're actually doing something can just go so quickly. Literally, like, for example, I can rationalize anything right now. So, for example, in my head, I could take the money that I make per month. I'm not going to say the number it is because it's not a lot. It would shock you how little it is. I could take the amount of money I make per month off of YouTube. I could say to myself, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make more. And let's say I double it and I lose all my morals and ethics, my foundations. I start taking sponsorships I shouldn't be taking. I completely do different content. Let's say it doubles. It's not going to change my life in any way, if anything. It's just going to lose the whole structure I have around me. I'm not going to enjoy it anymore. And like financially, it's essentially going to be the same position. However, I could easily take a look at the amount of money I make per month and be like, hey, you know what? Since this isn't a life-changing amount of money we're making per month, this could be like little investments we make over time. Like any little bit we get from streaming and content creation, we put that into the stock market. It just adds that snowball over time. Or better yet, like recently, you've seen us do it in the past. We had months where we raised money for like food banks and things like that. The tangible, seeing how your money could be used now, in my head, I might be looking at a number and being like, dude, you know what? The money I'm making this month is barely anything. It's like less than minimum wage in terms of the amount of time I'm putting in. But that amount of money could be enough to pay for the housing of someone in Africa, which literally happened this past week. For someone I'm extremely close with. And it makes you kind of reevaluate even the idea of money, or like the idea of time. If I'm going to sit and grind content on FIFA, and I ran into this last year, I love the Libertadores SBC to death, but me doing it for 3 hours a day versus 4 hours a day brought really no significant difference. Yeah, it'd be more time put into it, therefore more coins, more packs, more content. But there came like a rate of return where the cost to benefit analysis very much went away from the benefit and more towards the cost. Where it's like that extra hour, in order to have it, cut into, hey, other people wanted to hang out with me, I canceled plans or didn't make myself available because I made clear, whether I said it verbally or in my actions, that me doing this thing is more valuable than time spent with that person. And would I go back and change it? No, because I think that was valuable lessons I had to learn. To now, where it seems like most nights I have something going on. Like Monday, I have my community group that I go to, so we stream for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I go to that. Tuesdays, I have trivia with another group of people from different churches and people in the community. So I stream for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then go to that for the rest of the night. Wednesday, we have family dinner, so I stream like an hour and a half, 2 hours, go to family dinner, spend the night with my family. Thursdays, stream for a couple hours, go to work out after this, whatever time we end, which I'm probably going to end in the next half an hour. I'm going to take my pre-workout pretty soon. I'm going to go get a nice workout in, and then I'm going to talk to one of the buddies that I have that I've only met once in person. Met him this year in person for the first time, but I've been friends with for a couple years now, and we used to, at the earlier stages in COVID, be in Discord for like 6 hours a day talking. Now I barely see him, but once a week we get into a Discord call and we literally just talk about life and what's going on, goals we're trying to achieve, and generally just have good conversation. Him and I live completely different lifestyles. We have very little in common. A lot of, let's say, what he values as a moral system is completely different from mine. But when I tell you, he is one of the people I respect most in this world. Just from a standpoint of the conversations we're able to have, the kind of freedom of being able to go back and forth and share how you feel about something without feeling like they're gonna hate you for it, is a truly beautiful thing. Did I score or did I get scored on? I got scored on. Yeah, I don't even know anymore. All right, I'm going to take a piss real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my pre-workout. Give me like a minute or two. I am back. All right, we need 4 more wins with Canada. We have 4 games left to play today. Jeez, I'm going to play all 60 games, man. That's crazy. Can we get... Wait, hold on. Can we get these done tomorrow, then? I'm not going to do it tomorrow if we can. Because we want to save it for Sunday when the full team promo is out. Probably, right? That's good. Ooh. Jonathan. Should we do a finesse from outside the box? Or here. Can we do a Travella again? I think they said it made his last one when he did it. Dang it. $300 games. And Benny said it's crazy. Wonder how many we have with Vieri. So I feel like Vieri's been in everyone. Question to anyone watching right now. Would you rather have a baby or mid icon of one of the top icons in the game right now, or would you rather pack their prime like a month after Team of the Year? For example, if you could get, like, let's say a mid Dino now, would you take a mid Dino now and like an 87 plus, or would you rather have like a prime Dino, let's say in February? Speaking of my buddy, let me see if we're on tonight. Yo, you wanna talk tonight? All right, 3 more games for today. Let's see, what do we have? We have 5 done there and 3 done there. So we have 8. We need 2 more. Or we technically need 5 more. So we could do these 3 and then 2 other ones. That way we could get the Reggie Cannon. You know what? No. Screw it. I'm going to hold myself accountable, boys. We're getting the cannon now. He's 3. I'm going to take the 3 from down below. We're getting Reggie Cannon now. Then I'll have to grind for the remaining swaps. Alright, there it is. Question is, can we even get this card in our team? He will 100% be super sub. I don't think we can fit him in. Maybe if we played him at center back. But he only has the US link, and that's about it. Beautiful. All right, dudes, we're going to end it there. Thank you for chilling today. If you did enjoy the stream, feel free to smack the like button, subscribe if you're new. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the start of the new promo. Peace.